I'm that Nikki you know, and welcome to the Thursday Colors vlog, episode 7? I think we're at 7 now. Yeah. And oh my god, I've been doing this for 7 whole weeks. I'm sorry I haven't done the bloopers for the last 2. If you were really into the bloopers, I'm sorry. I have been very busy traveling around Costa Rica. I'm sorry for the blurry effect. I went to go see a waterfall and I dropped my camera in the water. Not completely, like it wasn't submerged, but it did get a little bit wet. So now we just have a nice blurry effect until I can get a new camera, which I don't know when I'll get a new camera. So this is just the way it is. This is just what we have. Without You just came out. So Without You came out earlier this week, and I didn't really make a big fuss about it. I didn't put the same kind of effort into the release as I did with other singles, just because this one was for me. I wanted to release it on the 15th of February because that is the day that I finished it, but 2 years ago. It was the anniversary of finishing that song, and I wanted to celebrate it. Right, so this week I kind of wanted to talk about some of the neat little synchronicities of making the album. When I got the idea to make Thursday Colors, and specifically that album, I had taken this photo of it was actually my pot of rice. I made some rice, ate the rice, but I had a dirty rice pot. And and the cool thing about it is it's a glass pot, and the rice made a really neat pattern on the pot, and it looked really cool. I really liked it, and so I took a picture of it and played around with some filters and stuff on Instagram and decided that Thursday Colors should be the name of the album, which I think I talked about this in an earlier video. I was born on a Thursday, and Thursday has its own sort of color palette associated with Thursdays, and that color palette is one that I saw all the time throughout the making of this album, and that I was really kind of feeling strongly. So Thursday Colors became the name of the album. Around this time last year is when I started planning it, and I had the songs either entirely or mostly written at that point. I started thinking about which songs I should put on the album, and once the snow melted, I started finding all of these 4-leaf clovers. I was doing yoga outside, so I guess it's not that surprising. Statistically, it's likely that I would come across them, but I was finding them in kind of weird ways. I would just have a feeling to look in a particular spot, and I would see one. And there was actually a couple of times that I found 5-leaf clovers. So it was just kind of nuts. That has never been a part of my reality. I found 4-leaf clovers once when I moved to Guelph, Ontario. The day that we were moving, our car broke down, and we were at a gas station. And I was just sitting in the grass at a gas station, and it turns out I was sitting on a patch of 4-leaf clovers.
Because we were beside a gas station, and having a 4-leaf clover is a mutation, and the impact that gas and oil has on our environment meant that there was an increased likelihood of mutations, and so I sat on a pile of 4-leaf clovers.
That happened to me, but that was the only time that I had ever found 4-leaf clovers in my life. This past year, I just consistently was finding 4-leaf clovers every few days. I would find another 4-leaf clover. Not every few days, but pretty frequently. It was only when I wasn't looking for them and I'd just get a feeling to look in a certain spot, and then I would find one. It felt like big things were happening, and it was kind of like a yeah, you're on the right track kind of sign for me. I ended up collecting 16, which is the day that I was born. It was on the 16th of June. And I just thought it was kind of cool that my album is called Thursday Colors because I was born on a Thursday, and I found 16 clovers, and I was born on the 16th of a month, you know? So I really like that kind of synchronicity and all that. Like I found a huge clover, a huge 4-leaf clover on the way to the studio one day. It was like this big. It was huge. And I think that was like sort of in the middle of our overdubs. And I actually really wanted to include clovers on the artwork for the album. But then I changed my mind. Because I didn't really have any like good pictures of the clovers that were like high resolution, and when I started playing around in Photoshop, it looked a little cheesy. So I just decided not to bother with it, and went with some good high quality photos instead for the artwork. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. The photos that I went with were taken by my friend Emily Reed, friend and roommate, both current and in the past. We were roommates when I first moved to Montreal, and then life happened. She went off traveling, and I went off and did like other things, and so we weren't roommates for a few years, and now we're roommates again, and we've been traveling together. So it's been kind of cool. So we did one little photo shoot for Give Me to the Season, which resulted in the cover art design for that. And then we did another photo shoot that I've been using for all the other elements of the album. And for that photo shoot, we took that picture from like the little rice cooker image that I had. So we took that image and projected that onto me and the wall behind me, and I took the same material as I was using for Give Me to the Season to sort of continue that theme, and of like that sort of like sparkly cage, I guess. It's like a magic sparkly cage that like transforms and moves to fit whatever shape you want. So I just like I dressed in kind of, I wanted to have sort of a like almost culty look. So I have this shirt that is like, it's white and it's very like loose, boxy kind of shirt that gives me kind of a graphic look, like it kind of removes a lot of the curves on my body, and it's very white, and like the way that it cuts off in certain areas is like really striking. And I did that with like very like plain makeup, strong brows. And I had like recently like reshaved my like, because I have like this part of my hair is getting fuzzy, so because I did that before. I recut it before I left for Costa Rica, and now it's like growing in. But I had like, freshly shaved my hair, and and I put my hair into like, I braided my hair and then made little like loops. So it was kind of like Princess Leia like, but not really, but kind of. And we just played around with different like sort of shapes and body movements and different ways of being a figure in a piece of art. After like over 300 photos, we started looking through them all, and I actually had a really hard time choosing photos for like to use for the album, because there were so many and they were so cool. And I considered making like using all of them and doing like this really intricate like quilt of pictures, because they were all like the same like blues and stuff, but like slightly different because of the angles. And I think it would have been pretty cool, but like so much work. And I didn't feel up for it. But they were all really, really different too. The one that I ended up going with for the cover of the album that one I really love. Like, it's my favorite one. And obviously, obviously I would choose my favorite one for the cover. But it's the way that my shadow is sort of staggered from my figure, and the way that I'm like kind of holding my arms, it looks like I'm dancing with my shadow, and that is exactly appropriate for this album. So it does have that sort of like give and take, and it's not all dark and it's not all light, but it is dancing with my shadow, sharing the hard parts of myself as well as the light. So I just thought that poetically, symbolically, aesthetically, I just loved having an image of me dancing with my shadow. So that's what the cover is going to be. It's going to be a really cool picture of me dancing with my shadow. And the back is one of the pictures that was taken of the back of me. So it's not like, I find it kind of weird when you have like a front-facing picture on the front and then a front-facing picture on the back. It's like, where is your back? But it's my back on the back. The back of the vinyl is my back. I'm really happy with it. I think there's been a few times where I was really uncertain about the design of the text and the artwork, and I've gone through like so many different iterations. Like there was one that I used the original rice cooker, like pot of rice picture, and then I layered on like all the clovers, and I used like a bunch of different fonts, and I was like, this is the one. My friend Robin does these cool like robots with I think he like blows ink onto like objects that he's arranged, that when you take the objects away, then you get this after image of a robot. And I thought that was really cool. And then I had put the robot on there, and I had like, the robot's heart, there's like a little bit of crimson, and I really liked that sort of aesthetic, but it was like really low quality, it was low resolution. When I printed it on like a block of wood, it looked terrible. So I thought, maybe not. Maybe this isn't the best one. To be fair, I had been working on the album for maybe a week with almost no sleep. So my brain was not functioning at full capacity. Then I brought the robot back and did like a superimposed robot on like an image of me sort of like this. And I liked that one, but it seemed almost too culty. Anyways, I'm going to show you a bunch of the different iterations of the album artwork that I decided not to go with. So we have this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah, so that's the story behind the artwork and like the process that I've gone through in the visuals and the artwork for, well, not all the visuals, I haven't talked about music videos, but the artwork for the album. Yeah, that's that. So thanks for watching. I'm at Nikki Now. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share with your friends. Tell everybody about it, and follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Follow me all the places. It's free and it helps me. So please help me. And I'm really excited to share the album with you. It's going to be so good. It is so good. Okay, I think I think I've talked too much. I'm gonna go